How you doing? This is my tabby boy. I hope you can hear me. I'm doing a stream because if you didn't know already, Rush Limbaugh has died. He died yesterday, and I was so preoccupied with filming the implosion of the Trump Plaza that I didn't find out until like 12:30. And ever since then, of course, haven't much been able to think about except this, and obviously no other content could be produced until I address this. So this is a space for everybody who is really sad about this and whose other programs that you're usually watching aren't already on. I try not to do these things when the most important programs aren't airing, since I know you can always tape other people's things, but in the off chance that you wanted to watch something live, then you have to tape the other things. So I try to think about the times that are most convenient for other people, aside from also what's convenient for me. Uh, and I was so hungry, I had to have dinner first before going on. Uh, I hope wherever you are, the weather's okay. It really sucks to be in Texas right now. I feel really bad for all those people that lost their power and having dealing with temperatures that are not typical of that region. Uh, we're having bad weather ourselves. The sleet. It snowed some. It sleeted some. Maybe even a little tiny bit of hail. Then it rained and got all slushy. Then it was icy this morning. I had to get newspapers to get my clippings for Rush Limbaugh. And this is the New York Post. And in this paper here that I'm holding is the Press of Atlantic City. Oh no, I beg your pardon. This is the New York Daily Post. But yeah, New York Daily Post, the Philadelphia Daily News, and the other paper was the Press of Atlantic City. Papers that would give respectful coverage to all people. I didn't bother thinking about getting a New York Times. Not only do they have very negative Trump coverage, but if they're going to be unkind to him, I understand that they already referred to some of Rush Limbaugh's staff as being fictitious. And why would I bother spending my money on liberal media that's only going to slander the people that I am wanting to buy information about? Uh, I would have gotten more papers if they had a better selection that I thought would have really had comprehensive articles that weren't picked up by the same wire services that gave me the articles that I have here. And I wanted to have some nice pictures and things. I'm sure that there's going to be some pictures in a write up in People magazine, and I'm right now subscribing to that. So I will have pictures of that in that, I'm sure, next week. I mean, People magazine, they give you all kinds of stuff that any paparazzi can find about any celebrities, and including serial killers and different kinds of criminals. And then when the demonstrations were going on, they had all kinds of thugs that were being glorified, especially if there was a racial angle and stuff. But I am really sad about this. It's not a surprise. We all knew it was going to happen. And whenever he was on, he said that he felt that every day that he woke up was like a gift. But, and I also feel bad that many of the people that were stand ins for him on the days when he couldn't broadcast, I was really getting annoyed and bored by them because I was comparing them to Rush, and there's only one Rush Limbaugh, and everybody else that's doing radio or doing anything like that nobody has the excitement and the energy and the passion and the fun and all those things that he had. And so, of course, to compare to them to him is not fair to them. But then the more I'm listening to what these people were saying in the aftermath of Rush Limbaugh's death, and I'm finding out more about the backgrounds of all these people and finding out how talented they are in their own right and how they were able to make stretches from being uh, CEOs of their own companies and being in these different industries. And many people discovered Rush through his hearing it from their parents. So generations teach their kids and stuff, and different ways that people have discovered Rush. I was on the West Coast for most of the time, but I would find him intermittently on different people's radios and things, and mostly when I would find myself on the East Coast. But I think it's really interesting that I believe, if not for being inspired by how Rush had ended up with this format that was political and yet fused music and entertainment and humor and a love of history and a desire to teach accurate history. How can you appreciate something if you don't know about it? How can you love your country if you don't know the truth about its history? And the best way to be a good teacher is to make it fun. And Rush Limbaugh was able to do that. And if you get exposed to it long enough, I'm living proof that your focus can definitely pivot from left to right. There are so many ways in which I was not really yet enlightened, and I had certain chips on my shoulder, liberal chips, but chips nonetheless. And it was, I can swear to you, a combination of 9/11 and hearing Rush Limbaugh, and I noticed more and more that what he said made sense. And it's like anything else. You shouldn't just accept everything that you hear, read, see. Give it the time to jibe with your own common sense. Experiment with it. See if it holds true. And I found out that yes, it did seem to hold true. So many things, that observations that he made. And I don't know that I would have this YouTube channel if not for Rush Limbaugh. And to have the courage to think that, you know what, even though all YouTube sense says that you got to niche down to one or two subjects because you want to focus your audience, you want to know exactly who your audience is, and cater just to them, and all these seeming limitations, and I cannot limit myself. I know there's people that are in my audience that can't stand my political stuff, and you just want to watch my beauty videos or whatever, and I guess I should apologize that I'm not able to give you everything you want, but I can't deny such a big part of myself that cares so much about the things that matter. And I love my country, and I was raised to love my country, and raised to not just stand idly by while there were things under which I had some kind of control, and to try to go about approaching life fearlessly and finding out, yes, there are things that I can control and I should dare to do something about them. And to the more you know about things, the more you love them and respect them. And the more I know about my country and my country's history, the more I love and respect it. And I want to protect it. And I want to immerse myself in the things that will give me knowledge and encourage me to protect the things that I love. And I think that's really wonderful about being an American and having such a rich history and learning about your history, and hopefully not having your history being rewritten and destroyed by the people who don't love America and don't appreciate us, and maybe aren't old enough to have known about other countries that have had experiences with socialism and the violence of true fascism, and when the censorship is rampant and people really cannot express themselves with any kind of safety. And when I think of the half of the country that voted in, stolen Joe Biden, and I don't think half of them realize what they're getting, I don't know that you're asked for what you're really about to get. And Rush Limbaugh is dead, and it's hard to believe. It's hard to believe that now we're being forced to live in a world without him. And I know that this is bigger than any one of us, and life does go on. It must. Our country must go on. Families still must consider how to raise their children safely. We have to think about how we're going to get out of this COVID. We have to think about how small businesses are going to get back. We've got to think about our restaurants. We have to think about our nightclubs. We have to think about our first responders. We have to think about our kids getting back to school and the teachers. Everybody wants to be safe. And these are very strange times that we're living in. And but the people who may not appreciate what a trailblazing pioneer Rush Limbaugh was. And of course, he's not even cold in the grave, and there are people that the hate is so real. Among my own friends, the negativity on social networks like Facebook, it's really gotten obnoxious. I guess the only reason why maybe I haven't heard more negativity is I suspect that because there's so much political divisiveness now, a lot of people have each other on mute or ignore. Because there's so many things that I just don't see unless I go onto people's pages, and then I see all this. Usually, it's almost always anti-Trump stuff, but it's not necessarily pro-Biden stuff. But all these things showing praise that Rush Limbaugh is dead among people who are real life friends of mine, and see these things, and I know that you can scroll past and you don't have to respond to things you see, but when you see these people that are practically tap dancing over somebody's freshly dug grave, and I know that I have said some rude things about people that just died, but those are people that I know to personally to be mean people, like certain famous entertainers that were rude to the help in the casinos where my mother works, that my mother witnessed. And yes, I talked about certain things, but the people that are dissing Rush Limbaugh are not dissing him because they witnessed him being rude. They're dissing him because they believe the propaganda that Rush is against who they are. They're not people who've ever given any time to listen to his show. I bet they haven't even sat through one full show of his. Some people, just like so many people that hate Trump, look at so many people that hated George W. Bush without having really given serious consideration to what the men's specific policies are. They just decide, especially it's the media that they get exposed to. If all of the media that you get exposed to corroborates your worldview, you're not going to, and you immerse yourself in that bubble, and all your friends think like you and talk like you, then how are you to grow? But on the same token, I could see that there's comfort in not wanting to be bombarded with media messages that say that you suck and everything you're about is no good. And to have friends constantly say, like with us Trump people, orange man bad. And I remember how it was with George W. Bush. When I was stumping for Bush, I lost a lot of friends with that. And I'm guessing it was worse with Trump, and hearing the vile things that so-called friends of mine are saying about Rush Limbaugh. And the more I think about how much I love and admire this man, and now I never got a chance to send that. See, I was going to send that tape. I was going to write to him on the Rush Limbaugh site. And then they said that, why not make videos? But then I finally made a video and it was short. It was under 5 minutes, which for me is a short video. Only to find out that I couldn't upload it because it said it must be under 2 minutes. So who makes a fucking 2-minute video? I mean, how is that possible? Especially to answer certain questions like when did you first start listening and how he impacted your life and stuff. And so anyway, I thought, okay, well, I'm going to reshoot this and try to come up with something that's 2 minutes. But well, now it's too late. And the thing is, there was this option to go and upload it to YouTube, and it wasn't something that I felt comfortable with uploading to YouTube. There are things that I wanted to tell him, and maybe his family, and maybe his strictest supporters that I wouldn't necessarily put on YouTube. So I can't help but feel that it's too late. Okay. It would be nice if some people would say something in the chat room so that I can know if there's no sound. It would be really upsetting and embarrassing if I found out that there was no sound. I did some filming yesterday and the sound was fine, but I didn't do a sound check for this. So testing 1 2 3. Can you hear me? I'm speaking right now. I don't know if you can hear me. See, if I think I can't be heard, I'm just going to stop the stream. I've been doing this for 19 minutes and 28 seconds and counting. And so, yes, this is a bathroom. I need to show the mirror. I want you guys to see the damage I did to this computer. I cracked it right here. You see where my thumb is? Where my thumb is. So this may malfunction at any time. This is my Cassie. My Cassie. Alright, well, I just wanted to pay my respects to Rush Limbaugh. And thought you guys did too. I will talk to you guys later. Bye.